what this is cannot be put in a biographical letter. It doesn't need resumes about a story, but this is free, untouched, unpolluted. Not apologizing.
In 2016, members of the Buddhafield Cult were sent to physically threaten any cast members appearing in the Sundance Film Festival documentary called Holy Hell. This was a documentary about the Buddhafield Cult. It was created by Will Allen, who had been a member for 22 years. Many ex-members of the Buddhafield Cult were featured in the film. Welcome back to the ABCs of cults. We are on the letter B, and B is for Buddhafield Cult. Not to be confused with Buddhafield Festival. This group, which was founded in the 1980s, has been the subject of lots of controversy. In this video, we will explore the Buddhafield Cult, look at their beliefs, their practices, and the allegations of abuse that have been made against them. Buddhafield was founded in the 1980s by a man who reportedly only ever wore Speedos and eyeliner. His name was Jaime Gomez. He later changed his name to Michel Rostand, and we're going to call him that for the remainder of this video for simplicity. Rostand was a former ballet dancer who claimed to have had a spiritual awakening whilst living in India. He returned to the United States and began teaching meditation and yoga to a small group of followers in California. Over time, Buddhafield grew in size and popularity, attracting people from all over the world who were seeking spiritual enlightenment. The group's teachings were based on a mix of Eastern and Western spiritual traditions, with an emphasis on meditation, yoga, and self-improvement. Buddhafield largely uses New Age ideas. Rostand thinks of himself as God, and encourages his followers to think of themselves as God as well. Buddhafield uses the Sanskrit word Shakti, meaning power.
Shakti is the transference of energy from the master to the disciple. We just leave there so blissed out and high without drugs.
Apparently, Rostand could transfer power to his followers using his finger. Rostand demanded that his followers remained celibate, despite himself allegedly having sexual intercourse with various followers. Drugs and alcohol were also banned from use whilst in the group. Buddhafield followers actually changed their names whilst they were in this group. Members had to attend 3 to 5 hour ballet practices 2 to 3 days each week, which were often part of the group's activities, with members even missing their jobs to go to practice.
Robert, right now you have time for the bullshit. Do the practice and do it right.
They would put on shows and performances, but these were never shown to anyone outside of Buddhafield. Ex-members said they would dance and hike in the woods, swim, meditate and pray together. And they also attended weekly hypnotherapy sessions that he called cleansings. As the Buddhafield cult grew, so did the allegations of abuse. Former members have accused Rostand of using his position of power to manipulate and control his followers. They claim that he would use tactics such as sleep deprivation, isolation, and emotional manipulation to keep his followers under his control. Rostand also attempted to get his followers to report on each other's transgressions and wrongdoings. He reportedly kept one follower from seeing her father before he died, and he encouraged another to get an abortion, claiming religious reasons. Members would often live together and only associate with other members. They were required to do 40 hours of service work every single week. That is a full-time job. Service was like good deeds. Most of these good deeds would be to serve Michel Rostand himself, but they said they were doing it for God. Michel was obsessed with fame and beauty. He would lie about his fame to his followers, claiming to have a major role in the hit movie Rosemary's Baby. He was in fact just an extra in that movie. He did, however, have a more starring role in some adult movies, but he would deny this. I can't show it here because, YouTube, but let me just tell you, you can see the guy's face. It's the same guy. Rostand wanted all of his members to be beautiful, and he would suggest to many of his female followers that they should get plastic surgery. He had had a lot of surgery himself, and ex-members said he had so much of it that eventually he started to look quite deformed. In my opinion, it's entirely possible that his time as a ballet dancer could have fueled his unhealthy sort of obsession with his looks, both for himself and for his followers. Michel was known as the teacher, and he managed to keep his followers around by promising to reveal to them something he called the knowing.
The knowing was the realization of being able to see and hear and taste God.
You could only comprehend what it means to finally have God being revealed to you in its purest form. Finally! So, who wants to ask for the knowing today?
The knowing was a special ritual performed only for his most dedicated members. They did all they could to please him. Some young male members reported being manipulated into sexual acts with Michel in order to receive the knowing. In addition to the allegations of abuse, there were also concerns about the group's finances. Former members have claimed that Rostand would pressure them to donate large sums of money to the group, which he would then use to fund his very lavish lifestyle. Despite all these allegations, the Buddhafield continued to operate for many, many years, until 2007. In 2007, Rostand was forced to flee the United States after a former member filed a lawsuit against him. According to Will Allen, he became very paranoid after the Waco siege, a devastating raid turned massacre. This was associated with another cult, the Branch Davidian, which was a Seventh-day Adventist cult that were raided for illegal firearms.
The standoff between armed members of the Branch Davidian cult, led by the self-appointed prophet David Koresh, and federal agents ended with 86 dead, including 28 children.
I'm going to take this little opportunity to let you know that apparently I am not the first ABCs of cults out there. There's another creator on this platform that has done some shorts that are the ABCs of Cult. It's by Cult Vault, and I believe her letter B is the Branch Davidian. So I'm going to post the link for it down below so you can go and check that out. So I guess we are volume 2, happy days for us. I'm going to try as best as I can not to do any of the same groups that she has done. So there'll be 52 cults covered altogether. That would be awesome, right? So go and check out Cult Vault down below. I will leave a link for it. Anyway, back to the video. Hearing the news of the Waco siege made Michel abandon the group for 6 months, whilst he found them a new location. Michel is believed to be living in Hawaii under a new identity. Will Allen's documentary Holy Hell is one of the only pieces of survivor testimony that's even out there. Will Allen spent 4 years making the movie and received threats from the Buddhafield Cult. Buddhafield Cult bodyguards were sent to the festival to intimidate the cast members. Michel himself actually did respond to the documentary, and this is what he said. And that is the Buddhafield Cult. Next week, we are moving on to the letter C. This group were a family-run Mormon spin-off that eventually ended in murder. If you have been affected by a high-control group and you are looking for support, check the description below where I will leave some links. If you have been involved in a cult and you're wondering about sharing your story, you can send me an email at hellokellicopter@gmail.com and potentially be on the show, or just share your story with me, or help me do research, whatever you like. My email is open, so if you are in one of these groups, please feel free to get in touch. That's it, we're at the end. I'll see you in the next one.